Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
And I'm another host, Will Outlaw.
And that's it. There is no Jeff this week. We have no parental supervision. Who knows what's going to happen?
We can talk about whatever we want.
We can't be great. We finally, I think, Jeff was just holding us down and making us talk about Nintendo all the time.
Oh, let's talk about Mario and Rabbids again. Jeff. Come on.
We can spread our wings and fly now. There's nothing holding us back. So what do you want to talk about, Will?
Black Panther.
Are you excited?
I don't know. I think I am, but not as excited about it as other movies, I think.
Yeah.
Other recent Marvel movies.
I mean, I know next to nothing about Black Panther.
Yeah.
I'm not a comic book guy or anything like that. And obviously Black Panther is like a deep cut. But the trailers look cool.
Yeah.
The trailer, it looks different is all I can say.
For
It
sure.
doesn't look like a normal Marvel movie. I'm
very glad it's happening. I don't know how excited I am to see it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Kind of surprised by how close it is. It seems like it's not.
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
All right, that was the podcast.
Yeah,
Black Panther.
That's it. One more thing. We've kind of, I think, 5 podcasts in a row I've talked about football for the first minute of it. So just keeping that streak going. Mm-hmm. Who do you have for the Super Bowl tomorrow?
Who do I want to win, or who's gonna win?
Both. I mean, I think we all want the same thing,
right?
I mean, we're not monsters. We're pulling for anyone who's not the Patriots, but
yeah. See, I don't hate Tom Brady, but I do want the Eagles to win, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I respect them. I'm not one of these people that's conspiracy theory. No. They're cheating and doing all this or whatever. It's no, they're the best team in football and they will go down as the best dynasty in football. That being said, it's getting really boring watching them win.
That's fair. I'm cheering for the Eagles, but I won't be devastated if Tom Brady just seals his legacy again.
Can he just go if he does that then? If he's good, that can he just
be done?
Just please just go. But if my money was on it, I'd have to go for the Patriots. Mm-hmm. It's just they do this too much.
I saw your Madden predictions.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
7-3.
Yeah,
very good.
I did the Super Bowl matchup yesterday. Obviously, I played as the Eagles. I had not played Madden in about 6 years. And I put it on the high difficulty or whatever. And it was a terrible defensive game, and New England scored at the very end to win. So
that's depressing.
Seems about right to me, honestly.
A 3-7 Super Bowl would be so boring.
Oh boy. Let's hope. Let's hope it's not that. I want to get good game at least. At least
we'll see what our boy Nick Foles can do. It's really a crime that
Super
Carson
Bowl
Wentz,
quarterback Nick Foles.
Yeah. It's a crime that Carson Wentz won't be playing.
It is. If Carson Wentz was playing, I would bet on.
That would be awesome.
I still think they could do it. They could still do it. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, he's been doing okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, well, this is a video game podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think so.
Have you been playing any video games since we last talked to you?
I have been playing some, but they've been the same ones I've been playing. So, finished Call of Duty campaign. It was fine. Very fine.
Your thoughts really haven't changed much?
No, I think it actually did get better towards the middle. But by the end, it was just as cheesy as the beginning was. So, yeah, nothing really changed there. Played a little bit more of Horizon. I'm 40% done completely overall. Okay. So I still have a good bit to do. I played 20 hours, but I'm only 40% through, which is depressing in a way. I feel like it shouldn't be taking that long. But
are you doing a lot of the side stuff?
Yeah. As I come across things, I'll venture off and do things.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad if you don't do everything. There was lots of side stuff that I dabbled in a little bit and then went out. That game is definitely just very big. There's lots of things to do, and it's not all equal in quality. There's some of it is kind of.
Yeah, I need to progress the main plot some, because for a while I was level 20, and the main plot or the main quest was level 12. I was all right, I should get on with this.
That's probably a sign.
Yeah.
You go there, you're one-shotting everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, do you know the game The Wolf Among Us?
Yes.
I played the first episode of that literally 3 times on 360. And then I finally bought the full game at the beginning of this year and played through it. Finished it a couple days ago. Platinumed it. So, there we go.
How is it?
I loved it.
I've been meaning to get to that for a long time.
I love it. I think So you played Tales of the Borderlands? Or Tales from the Borderlands?
No, I've played some of The Walking Dead, and I played all of Telltale Game of Thrones, but I have not played the other ones.
Oh, so not much of a Telltale guy.
No, I have not played much Telltale.
Interesting. I really like Telltale games, so maybe I'm biased, but I thought it was really good. It's the most, even though it's not their like own IP, I felt like it was just because of how interesting the world is.
Yeah, so it's like based off of it's like the Fable comics, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so is it like a telling of that story, or is it just kind of inspired by
It's a prequel.
Or...
It takes place like 20 years before the comic series starts, so it kind of builds on that mythology that they built. But it's a really cool world. Do you know what the basis of it is?
I know it's like fairy tale people, but it's like very dark and like realistic. Like the big bad wolf is like a gang boss or something like that, right?
The big bad wolf is the sheriff, and that's who you play as.
Oh, okay. Completely opposite, but
yeah. Basically all the fairy tales and fantasies and fables that you've heard kind of, I guess they like get kicked out of their land or whatever and end up in New York, and like just the stories about them trying to live in the real world. So it's cool. You meet like Beauty and the Beast, and Snow White is like the leader of the town and stuff. It's really interesting.
Is it like Snow White like has tattoos or something? Like I've seen like pictures of people of just like it's like fairy tale people, but it's just very distorted. And
it's really weird. The Little Mermaid is like a stripper now. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's really good though. I loved it.
I know people. I have friends who like swear by that game so much, and they're really excited for the new one coming out.
I'm stoked.
Yeah. So is there only one season of it right now?
It came out right after Walking Dead season 1, so it was really like
a long time ago.
Yeah, really right when they started making really good games, and so it's been a while. It's been 4 years since that game. So.
Well, hopefully we hear about season 2 soon.
Yeah, I was worried because, they had the layoffs or whatever.
Right.
But they said that it wasn't going to affect it, so we'll see.
Yeah, it seems like they're just focusing more down on these few games, which we could have a whole discussion about that. I think Telltale probably needs to narrow it in a little bit. Yeah. They're a little, like, spread out, I think. But
absolutely.
I've always thought it was crazy when they're like, yeah, we're doing these, like, 20 different games. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
How is this possible?
What have you been playing?
Not a whole lot of interesting things. I talked about it last week. I've been playing Civilization 5.
Oh, really?
Like on my computer. It's just like a very addicting game. Because have you ever played any?
Yeah, I have it. I've only played it like a handful of times, but
okay. I mean, I've never played it before, but it's just something I always knew I would like. But it's definitely, you get into the cycle of like, oh, I'll just do one more turn. Oh, I'll just do one more turn.
Absolutely,
and you completely fall down that rabbit hole. I don't really have much to say. I'm the Mongol Empire. I just completely destroyed America.
So you're playing alone? Playing? Okay.
Yeah. I'm in this, I said it last week on the podcast, but I'm in this video game and history class at USC, and we're having to play that for it. The class is kind of garbage, but the game was really good.
Yeah.
So that's and then yesterday I played Madden for a long time.
Yeah.
That's about all the gaming I've done. I have such a backlog. Oh, and I played more of Witcher, Blood and Wine.
Okay.
And still, that DLC pack is so good. It's so good.
I need to finish Horizon so I can delete it and put Witcher back on.
How far did you get into Witcher?
Not very far.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's so big. I never thought that I would beat the regular game.
Yeah.
Much less I'm getting close to wrapping up all the DLC, which is crazy to me. I think I looked and I have like 180 hours in Witcher total right now, which is just absurd. But yeah. Well, Will, are you ready to get into the news?
Yeah, let's do it.
News jingle, Will.
Oh, jingle, jingle, jangle?
See, we don't even need Jeff. See?
That's it, yeah.
I'm just kidding, Jeff. We love you, but...
It's not like Jeff ever does anything, right? I mean... He just does the doc every single time.
And, he just reads all the news stories that I'm going to have to do now, and I'm kind of worried about. Okay. Well, let's get started, Will. First story. Very big, important one.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed again, Will. This time to October, but we actually have a solid date.
We have a date.
Hopefully they will hit it. So this comes from Jason Schreier at Kotaku. Red Dead Redemption 2 will be out October 26th, Rockstar said today, which was earlier this week. The second major delay for what might be the most anticipated game of 2018. The upcoming prequel to Rockstar's critically acclaimed Western was previously scheduled for fall 2017 and then spring 2018. And this is from Rockstar. We apologize to everyone disappointed by this delay. While we had hoped that the game would come out sooner, we require a little extra time for polish. We sincerely thank you for your patience and hope that when you get to play the game, you will agree the wait has been worth it. In the meantime, please check out these screenshots from the game, which you can see on the article, and we look forward to sharing a lot of information with you in the coming weeks. So, Will, what do you think about this?
I was conflicted because I am glad that we get an actual date. It's just so much later than we initially thought.
Yeah. Obviously, we go through the spiel every time. Rockstar, take as much time as you need because, we know this game's going to be amazing, and Rockstar is going to push it back instead of putting out an inferior product, and I would rather have that. Mm-hmm. The only disappointing thing is I remember, before they announced Red Dead, when it was just, rumors, I was hoping that they were going to take, a Fallout 4 type approach and wait to say anything until it was boom, they're ready and go. Unfortunately, it's kind of more of a traditional.
It seemed like they tried to do that. It just got delayed twice. They were like, we can't do this.
That was probably actually was their plans. It's just disappointing that it didn't work out that way, and that instead we've had to just be excited for Red Dead for what'll probably end up being a full
right out of a year.
Right out of the year. Which, I guess in the grand scheme of things, a year isn't that
shorter
long.
Than a lot of games.
Yes.
But, yeah.
It just makes it feel worse when the goalpost keeps getting pushed back a few months and a few months and a few months. Do you think they'll hit this one? Do you think this one's more secure?
I think, since it's an actual date, like you were saying, I feel like that makes it pretty secure.
Yeah.
If it was just fall 2018, that would be an issue. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. This also... It makes it where, I feel like if it was going to come out in June, which is June, July, that's when we were thinking it might have come out, I felt like it might have not interfered with too many other games there. But in October, it's going to be competing with
Not competing.
Yeah,
other games.
The other games will be competing. Red Dead will be fine. Yeah. Red Dead could come out literally any time and it would be fine. It's all the other games that we're planning on coming out around October that are now just screaming.
Did you see which ones they were talking about? It would affect the most? Mm-mm. I saw Shadow of the Tomb Raider was one of them. That could be disastrous.
That would be terrible. Well, and Rise of the Tomb Raider came out the same day as Fallout 4.
Yeah, and it got demolished.
So if this happens 2 times in a row to Tomb Raider, that would be bad. I didn't even think about that one. Yeah.
So, did you see the screenshots they put up?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah. The game looks stunning.
I wish we would have gotten an actual gameplay trailer with this announcement. That would have eased it up a little bit.
Maybe that's the other thing that makes all these delays a little bit worse is that we haven't seen any sort of gameplay about the game. At the same time, I don't know how I know it's going to be good, so I kind of just want the game. I don't really want to know too much going in, but it would have been nice. But at least all the screenshots and little scenery trailers we've gotten have all looked amazing.
They look very pretty, yeah.
Yeah. Looks really, really good.
Just gotta wait 8 months.
Well,
when we're not in school anymore. We won't be able to play.
Gosh, that's scary. Let's not talk about that. And I have my backlog that I need to play before I do this anyway. It's fine. I'll probably, in school, school will probably make me take 3 months to beat God of War anyway.
That's true.
It'll be fine. We have Spider-Man at some point. Who knows?
Yeah, that's got to be a summer game, right?
I hope. Man, I hope. That in Detroit is just hard to pinpoint down. All right, well, we have another big delay. We talked about this last week, but it's actually confirmed this week. Anthem has officially been delayed to 2019. This comes from Sarah E. Needleman from the Washington Street Journal. Electronic Arts says that it's now planning to release Anthem, an online multiplayer action game from its BioWare studio, in early 2019 instead of fall 2018 as originally planned. The company denies a report in video game site Kotaku earlier this month, claiming that the change is due to development being behind schedule. Instead, EA is planning to release a new Battlefield game in October, another one that Red Dead will be competing with. And it determined that Anthem, the new intellectual property, would get more attention if it came out in a quieter quarter. It's not a delay, EA's finance chief Blake Jorgensen said to the Wall Street Journal. People are trying to create a story. My first impression, like, reading this was kind of like, I mean, like, I get what he's trying to say, that people are trying to, like, make it into, like, a dire thing like that, but, like, it's still kind of a delay, right? You said one thing, and then you said 2018, but it's getting pushed to 2019. I mean, like, I consider that a delay, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of the reasons, but...
It's funny, because I keep a list of release dates on my phone, and...
Yeah.
I already had 2019 as the placeholder for Anthem.
So you just knew.
This doesn't affect me at all. I was like, okay.
Will could see the future.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, whatever.
I think the only thing we had seen, I think at E3 they just had 2018, like just a general year thing. Which
I guess
we all probably could have guessed this.
Yeah.
We're like,
It's like, this isn't happening. 2019.
Yeah. No.
Whatever. Yeah, it does seem like a delay though. I mean, if they said 2018 and they're moving it back.
I mean, yeah, just because the reasons are wrong. And, like, I don't know. Like, did you read Jason's article from last week?
A little bit.
Okay. It definitely seemed like a lot of his... And even his stuff wasn't saying that, like, the game is absolutely on fire. He was saying that it's gotten a lot better and that the development's improving. He was mostly just saying that, like, it seems like a lot is riding on Anthem. Mm-hmm. So, like, they're trying to make sure they get it right. And, I mean, like, where do you stand? I don't know how much we've talked to you. Like, how do you feel about, like, do you think Anthem is going to be what BioWare needs it to be?
I don't know. BioWare lost a lot of credit lately.
Yeah. I mean, you get the feeling that, like, if Anthem doesn't perform Destiny-like numbers, that BioWare might legitimately be in trouble.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
And... I'm expecting because Anthem's just gonna have to like toe that line that's been so hard to do with having like this games as a service type thing with Destiny, where it can have a long tail where it keeps going and keeps people satisfied for months going on. Because that's been Destiny's problem is people were satisfied at first, but now a few months after launch, everyone's just like, there's nothing more for us to do.
Yeah,
and also having to balance like microtransactions without it being annoying. And just trying to make it different and unique and have the BioWare touch on it. Like, I don't envy them trying to make this game into what it needs to be. And
I mean, I'm sure EA has unrealistic expectations for this anyway, which makes it rough for BioWare.
And they're probably pushing the microtransactions stuff that we've seen a lot. And we'll see in the next story, they're pushing even more things with their other BioWare stuff. But yeah. I don't know. Like, what do you think? Just yes or no? Do you think Anthem will succeed like that?
Succeed? That's so relative. Man, I don't know. I think it will, in the same sense that I don't know. Do you think that the Division succeeded?
I don't think the Division needed to, not to the level that Anthem's going to need to. I think the Division. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I guess it's a tough thing to answer. But.
I mean, I didn't like the Division, but it seems like a lot of people were really into it.
Especially like afterwards, it seemed like it improved a lot as it went on. I don't know. I feel like Anthem can't afford to like have a rocky start. It just needs to come out and like be good immediately. So it's probably good they're pushing it back. But yeah. Well, moving on more with BioWare.
Yeah.
Are you a Dragon Age guy?
I have never played Dragon Age.
Okay, I didn't know if you were.
Have you?
But I have not. I played Dragon Age Inquisition and I really did not like it. But
that game is always so cheap on PSN, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and just don't.
I mean, like you might like it. I didn't even like. I've played like old Mass Effect games. I didn't even like them. Oh, really? So I'm just not very into BioWare stuff. Even though I know it's polished and know it's very well, it's not for me. But this is, we also talked about this last week, but it's been confirmed that the new Dragon Age game will be a quote-unquote live game, which none of us still really knows what that means completely. And that's Kotaku reported on that last week, and Casey Hudson from BioWare said on Twitter this week, he said, reading lots of feedback regarding Dragon Age, and I think you'll be relieved to see what the team is working on. Story and character focused. Too early to talk details, but when we talk about it being live, it just means designing a game for continued storytelling after the main story. So, this type of thing, like, I don't know. It's just lots of vague wording around it being live. And when it's Dragon Age is traditionally like an RPG type thing where you're telling a story. It's a lot like Mass Effect where it's like story and characters and everything. And I don't know, like, let me know what you think, but I feel like live story and the type of like game that Dragon Age is doesn't exactly mesh up well. Like, it's hard to tell a compelling story like that if there's not an ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think that's what a lot of people, including me, dislike Destiny 1 for, because you finished the story and it was like, okay, nothing really changed, and then they made you pay for the next 4 DLCs to see any sort of conclusion. So,
and I don't know if that's what this would mean. Does this mean that it's just going to be the story's going to continue with DLC packs or something, or is it going to? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just so vague. I don't know what that means really.
And it doesn't seem like a clear fit. Like, Destiny makes sense. In the way that Destiny was always built like that. But to put that into a franchise, that would be like if Bethesda came out and said Elder Scrolls was going to be like a games as service Destiny like thing or something. You'd be like, what? It wouldn't make sense.
Such a different genre. Mm-hmm. Very strange.
And I'm not a Dragon Age guy, so it doesn't mean much to me. But that does make me worry. Like, if I was a Dragon Age fan, I don't really like the wording of like it's going to be a live game, especially coming from EA. I'm sorry to say it, but like they push a lot of these things. I'm just worried for what that means. And we've seen like the starts of these type of things with even Shadow of War had microtransaction type things.
Right.
It wasn't that bad, but it's just we're starting to see even single player story games are starting to get these type of things, and I'm not really sure what that means for Dragon Age. But man, I
guess that's a ways off with Anthem being worked on though.
And the Jason story last week said that a lot of the people who were working at Dragon Age are now all moved on to Anthem. It's all like all hands on deck for Anthem. So Dragon Age is probably a long ways from now. So who knows? Like, this is very
things could change.
On. Yeah, it definitely could change. Well, you ready to move on?
Sure.
We're staying with EA and microtransactions, unfortunately. We're talking about Battlefront, and apparently Battlefront missed its expectations that it was set for it, which is not surprising. It still sold like 9 million copies, though. This comes from Hope Corrigan from IGN, and there's also information from Sarah E. Needleman from Wall Street Journal, but I'm using the IGN article because it's more compact. After a controversial release, Star Wars Battlefront II has fallen short of expected sales and will be bringing back microtransactions. The Wall Street Journal reports EA's latest Battlefront game sold 9 million copies, which falls 1 million short of the company's 10 million sales projection. While it's reportedly expected between 1 and 3 million more units will sell by the end of fiscal 2018, these sales will put the sequel behind its predecessor, which had hit 14 million by the end of fiscal 2016. The Wall Street Journal also shares that EA's finance chief Blake Jorgensen says microtransactions, which were pulled after the game's release, will make a return in the next few months. EA had indicated at the time of their removal that microtransactions would eventually return to the game. Jorgensen said, "We'll do it when we think it's ready," and reportedly blames the missed sales projections on the controversy surrounding loot crates, which also led to U.S. legislators wanting to limit loot box sales in some countries like the UK and New Zealand, making decisions about whether or not they constitute gambling.
People spoke with their wallet.
They did. And there's actually, I was kind of amazed, even when everything was going on last November, I was like, this is all great and good, but it's like, the game's not going to sell any less because of that. I honestly didn't really expect it to take that big of a hit, which in the grand scheme of things, it still sold 9 million copies. I mean, it's not like the game did poorly, but at least it did take enough of a hit to where the people at EA are blaming this.
That's good enough.
Good enough to be like, we lost money and we think this is why. I mean, that's the only thing that's actually going to be a lesson for these type of practices. Is if the companies lose money from it like that. how do you see these things coming back? Because he says they're coming back, and I feel like they have to be like very careful just with Battlefront. Like if it's any bit the way it was before, the internet's not going to have it.
Yeah, it can't be how it was before. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really interested in how they're going to change the microtransactions into something that isn't going to be the same controversy again.
It just seems like a landmine that you're just gonna like step onto. I mean, I feel like it has to be like all cosmetic, basically. Like you can't just after all the controversy and everything. I feel like if it's anything affecting you getting weapons or affecting anything with the gameplay, it's not going to be received well at all.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It doesn't. It seems like it would be smart to just not go back to them at this point, but they make a lot of money.
It's weird that they just took them out completely instead of just reworking them to be something manageable whenever the game came out.
Yeah, I guess it seems like they've been taking the time since then to rework it, but it's been a long time. Like we're in February now, and this game came out in November. So,
which is probably why they feel like they can put it in now, because anyone who's going to buy the game probably has it. Besides those, extra 1 million copies or whatever. So
yeah, but at least the vast majority of them are already playing it. So
and probably have all the gameplay stuff already unlocked, and
they probably wanted to distance themselves from the controversy itself and let people stop talking about it before they even try to come back with it.
Right.
Which is probably smart if you're going to come back with it at all. But
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. But
EA.
All right.
Another EA.
One more EA thing. This is the last EA thing. Titanfall devs Star Wars game, the Respawn, Respawn is the dev. Their Star Wars game could launch by March 2020. This comes from Eddie McCook from GameSpot. We still do not know much or really anything at all about Titanfall developer Respawn Entertainment's new Star Wars game, outside of the fact that it's a third-person action game. But now we know a little bit more. We might, and when it might launch. During an earnings call today, EA CFO Blake Jorgensen, again, said this untitled and officially unannounced game will likely debut in EA's fiscal year 2020. The revelation came in response to a question about when a new Star Wars Battlefront game might launch. Jorgensen said it is more likely that Respawn's game launches in fiscal year 2020 rather than a new Battlefront. Jorgensen said EA has not decided when or if it will release another Battlefront game. And it's EA's fiscal year runs from 2020 to April 1st, 2019 to March 31st, 2020. So they might even, going on from the last story, they might even abandon Battlefront in favor of Respawn Star Wars game, which is also very interesting to me, and it makes me... I doubt that was the original plan.
I think a leap year would make sense, but just abandoning that IP altogether is really, really weird. Yeah,
I mean, it's obviously not confirmed, but it's decide when or if. It's just interesting to me that it might even go that far.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it does give Respawn the opportunity to be the next big Star Wars game coming out. I mean, if Battlefront's kind of... there's just whispers of Battlefront or we don't know. They could come out and be that. And I am very interested in that game, especially since Visceral's game is no more.
Which is depressing,
it is
say the least.
Very depressing. At least, I'm pretty sure the Respawn game is going to be some sort of story game. Probably not as much as Amy Hennig's game would have been. That is what we wanted. That's the Star Wars game we really, really wanted. But everyone loved the Titanfall 2's campaign, a lot. So any sort of Star Wars one player game.
Yeah,
that's really what I think we all.
I'm into it. Want. Do you think that this actually will come out in a year and a half if we haven't literally seen anything?
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance mostly because I don't know, EA is going to want to, that fall, almost every fall in the last few years has had a Star Wars game, whether it's the two Battlefronts, and then the next one would be this. or every other, you know what I mean. Like they've hit that time there. I have a feeling like they'll make it happen, or at least to coincide with like another Star Wars movie. Or when does Episode 9 come out?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. I don't know.
I think Episode 9's coming out further into 2019 than. I think it's coming out like spring 2019 instead of fall this year. But
oh really?
I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly, but I don't know. I mean, like 2020 is a decently long time away, so maybe it depends on when they actually started this game. Like I don't know if they were working on this game while Titanfall 2 was going on, or if they didn't start this until after that. If it's the latter, then it could easily get pushed, probably. But
I rolled my eyes when I saw this news story, like on IGN. I was like, okay, by March 2020, whatever.
Yeah,
it's 2 years. Like
it's a long time. I think the more interesting thing is that it might replace Battlefront.
Yeah, no, that's definitely more.
That's the more interesting part of it. Yeah,
weird title.
Yes. All right. Well, we got to appease Jeff if he's listening. We have some Nintendo news. Nintendo Switch's paid online service is launching in September. This comes from Eddie McCook from GameSpot. The Nintendo Switch paid online service will launch in September 2018. Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima confirmed today during an earnings call. Online play for Switch games has been free since the system launched in March 2017. Initially, Nintendo planned to launch its paid service in fall 2017, but it was delayed to 2018. And at the time, Nintendo announced it would offer memberships for 1 month for $4, 3 months for $8, and 12 months for $20, but it remains to be seen if those prices are still accurate. We just know that it's coming now. We still don't know like what exactly their online service is going to offer. Is it going to be the PlayStation Plus Xbox type thing where you get games like that and you have to pay for it?
Well, they said you do get those 2 games for like that month or whatever.
Yeah, but it's just for the month, and I'm hoping they change that.
Very dumb. Very dumb.
And my worry is that, like, you know, I love the Switch and everything, and I love the Nintendo games they offer, but I don't think that Nintendo's going to be able to offer enough games in this thing to make it worth me paying a monthly fee for it. Whereas PlayStation and Xbox, because of third parties, they have lots of different things. Like PlayStation Plus is, they have Tales of the Borderlands and stuff like that. And Until Dawn was on there. Life is Strange. Like all these other like third party games that they have like an endless library to offer you with things. I don't know if Nintendo's going to have that, and especially if I'm already paying for PlayStation Plus, like this thing's going to have to like be something.
It'd be cool if it was like a Nintendo Netflix type thing.
That's what everyone's. I mean, I want at least for Virtual Console to be that, even if it's something separate from the online thing. For whenever they do announce Virtual Console or whatever their like version of it's going to be for this, for you to have access to the older games. Like, just let me pay $8 or $10 a month, and I can play the old Mario games, and I can play all these old games or whatever. That would be the ideal thing for that.
So are they saying that online play isn't going to be free anymore?
Yeah, when that happens, it was just free basically until they had that, which is another hurdle in its own.
It's stunning that it is taking it a year and a half to get that service up.
No, this is, something that was obviously supposed to come out with the console. Like any normal console launch would have come out with the console. And it's
very strange.
Definitely very
Nintendo move for sure.
Yeah, like, do you know Brian Altano from IGN, right? He posted on Twitter the other day. Apparently, he sent his Switch in because it like wasn't connecting to the dock or something anymore. So he sent it in for repairs. And when they sent it back, they sent him an email and said, something went wrong when we were repairing it, and all of your save data is gone.
What?
And Nintendo does not have cloud storage, so it was literally all tied to that. So all of his save data for Zelda, Mario, everything he's played is gone.
What did they do?
I don't know. Like they and when he sent it in, they said that he would be able to, his save data would be fine, but something happened when they were repairing it and he lost it. And this is just one of those things where like Nintendo does so many things right with their games and like with the actual system itself, but that is unacceptable.
You would think they would have to like have some sort of reparations for that. That's so bad.
At least just do something. Like, no, it's so bad. And I mean, like, people were saying, like, yeah, it's like, oh, why didn't you just like back it up on a thing or on like a USB drive or something like that? It's like, you shouldn't have to do that.
Is that really his responsibility?
It should not be his responsibility. When they assure him that it'll be fine, it should be fine. And these are just the things that Nintendo has to get up to the modern world with. Like, it's in 2018, it's kind of ridiculous that you lose your save data because it's tied to this thing. Like, Nintendo needs cloud storage, and that's just one of the things.
Is it like tied to the system itself, or is it a card, or what?
I mean, like all your data is tied into the system. I think you can have it in. I think like you can have removable SD cards or whatever, so you can like store things in SD cards and like put them in and out or whatever. But it's not like PlayStation where like you put your save data in the cloud, so even if you like delete stuff, it's fine. Whatever. Like it doesn't work that way with Nintendo. Sucks. So that's one thing that hopefully comes along with this in September. The other rumor is that with the online service launching in September, it might also launch alongside a game that uses it. And the big rumor is Smash Bros. For a Smash Bros.
That'd be awesome.
Port right alongside. So they'll be like, here's our online service and Smash Bros. With new characters and new stages, and you can play with your friends.
I haven't even thought about how weird it is that Smash Brothers isn't on Switch.
Yeah, and that's what everyone's like. As time goes on, it's becoming more and more like, so is it going to be a new Smash Bros. Instead of a port, and that's why they haven't done it, or whatever? And this is the first that I was starting to lean towards new Smash Bros. But now that we have this online service launching in September, now I'm starting to think maybe this is what they were waiting for. They were waiting to launch it alongside it to get a lot of people to buy into it.
That'd be a smart move.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, that's probably what we would do. We would probably get it, and now that a lot of my friends have Switches, and we could play Smash Bros. I think that's a decently safe bet at this point. Like, that's probably what I would put my money down on.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see. I love the Switch, but it needs things. We need to get the ball rolling with some of these just quality of life improvements that need to be happening with a 2018 console.
Old Nintendo is definitely shining through sometimes.
Sometimes it's so frustrating because they do so many things right and then so many things wrong.
But people are eating them up.
They are, because the Switch has officially outsold the Wii U. In less than a year, it has outsold what the Wii U has done in its entire lifetime.
Wii U came out, what year?
2013?
Okay.
You can look that up if you want, but I think it's 2013. But this comes from Shabana Arif. I'm so sorry. From IGN. Nintendo latest console has already outsold the Wii U, and in less than a year, shifting over 14 million units since March 2017 launch, compared to the Wii U's 13.5 million lifetime sales. The company's financials are a rousing tale of the Switch's success, which is the fastest selling home console in U.S. history, and managed to sell a whopping 7.23 million units in the last quarter alone, reaching 14.86 million consoles sold at the end of December. And so this is just the end of December too. It hasn't even counted January sales. Nintendo has subsequently tweaked its forecast for its financial year ending in March with a 33.3% greater operating profit of 160 billion yen or $1.47 billion from 1.2 trillion yen or $9.38 billion in revenue. So yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty dang good.
Pretty good.
Outselling the Wii U in 1 year is already crazy enough. It's 14. I think Xbox is at 30 million or something.
Really?
So it's already halfway through the Xbox's sales.
And that was 2014 for Xbox. So
yeah.
Wow.
So it's insane. This thing, I never would have predicted the Switch selling
Yeah.
as well as it did. And it seemed like its holiday was, like, insanely well. And also, like, I think part of what sold it is Super Mario Odyssey has sold 9 million copies at this point. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 7.33 million copies, and Legend of Zelda has sold 6.7 million copies.
I'm astonished that Mario has sold that much more than Zelda.
And it's been out substantially less time. Mario's popular. I don't know. People love Mario, and I think the Mario Switch bundles coming out around holiday time definitely helped a lot with that. I don't know, man. It's just, I mean, the Switch is certainly here to stay, and like people are gonna keep supporting it and start supporting it more if they haven't already.
If they in the next 5 years, if they change to a different sort of strategy, it would be such a mistake.
Oh, they're not.
They have to just keep the Switch going.
No, they're doubling down on Switch.
Yeah.
Me and Jeff have talked about this in the past. I wouldn't even be the most surprised if we don't get a Switch 2. We just get, more iterations on the Switch and more just like, trying to keep that player base going.
I mean, they definitely found their niche. Like, this is what they need to do.
They definitely, they struck gold with it, and I feel like this is a different type of success than like the Wii's success, because this is success with people who play games, people who want to play games. And at least so far, all the games coming out have spoken to that audience that is not like the grandma and the moms that are just getting it for Wii Sports and never bought anything else. I don't think that's happening. Like, this 14 million units, I think, are 14 million units of people who want to play games.
No, I agree. Forward.
So
not the family.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's ways they can mess it up. The Wii just ended up having lots of shovelware, and the motion controls were just a gimmick, a fad that didn't last. I think that the switching the console thing, I don't think that's the same thing. And so far, they've been keeping the chop pretty clean from like just crappy games. It's starting to get a little bit worse, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But overall, like, if Nintendo first party is able to keep coming out as often as they are and killing it, then I don't see it slowing down, really.
Yeah, and if they could get more third party support somehow, that would make it even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, they've in 1 year they've basically they are like the indie machine now. So that's one thing with third parties. They like almost every indie is coming to Switch, and a lot of them are selling better on the Switch than other places. Yeah. So it's kind of like what the Vita used to be, and now they are. And you're starting to see Bethesda sending old games there. And there's lots of rumors of Rockstar putting GTA 5 on it. Yeah.
It totally works as a remaster console.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which is fine.
It's so much easier to, actually, I think we're all guilty of, buying the remasters of buying old games and then never actually playing them. But whenever you can just have it on the go and have it there, you're so much more likely to play it.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, I've definitely had to tell myself, no, Darby, you don't want to play Skyrim for the 15th time just because it's on the Switch, It's definitely a big deal. All right, keeping it with Nintendo, much less exciting news. Mario Kart Tour was announced for mobile. This comes from Alex Osborne from IGN. During the latest financial results briefing, Nintendo announced a new mobile app titled Mario Kart Tour. The game is currently in development and will be released sometime during the next fiscal year, which runs from April 2018 to March 2019. Additional details about Mario Kart Tour will be revealed at a later time. So, Mario Kart mobile game. Does that do anything for you?
I don't know. It might be fun, but I don't want to pay for it, so no.
Yeah, I think Nintendo probably learned that lesson with Mario Kart. With Super Mario Run, I think it'll probably be the normal model of being free with paid other things. I've never even back in middle school when it was new to have phone games or whatever, and everyone was doing things. I never liked the racing games because you have to tilt. You either have to tilt the phone or you have to do a little pad thing to do it. And,
super small.
Yeah, and your hands are in the way of the screen.
That's true.
We'll see. I mean, I'll give it a shot if it's free. I'll definitely give it a shot, but it's definitely not something that gets me very excited. But something that does get me a little bit more excited was Far Cry 5 DLC was announced. And this comes from Timur Hussein from GameSpot. Ubisoft has revealed what DLC content will be introduced in Far Cry 5 Season Pass, which is available as part of the game's Gold Edition or as an add-on across PS4, Xbox One, and PC. According to the publisher, the DLC is designed to take players on 3 uncanny adventures with a unique Far Cry twist. Hours of Darkness will see the players traveling back through time to Vietnam, where they'll be battling against Viet Cong soldiers. Dead Living Zombies, meanwhile, will pit players against the zombie hordes in multiple scenarios that are inspired by B-movies. So great. Finally, Lost on Mars will take players to Mars to go toe-to-claws with Martian arachnids. So like Martian spiders. Those who purchase the season pass will also get the single player campaign for Far Cry 3. It will be available 4 weeks early to them before coming available to purchase as a standalone product in summer 2018.
Far Cry 3?
Like you get Far Cry 3 with it. I mean that's pretty cool.
It's cool, yeah.
Like cool to have it on your PlayStation, and that's also news in here. Like you're going to be able to buy Far Cry 3 on PS4 like separately or whatever in this summer.
Huh.
So that's also very interesting. You played Far Cry 3, right?
I did. I didn't beat it, weirdly enough.
Ah,
but I did play it. I loved it.
Yeah, Far Cry 3 is awesome.
And I did platinum Far Cry 4. So.
Have you seen like the pictures from these DLC things?
No. I bet they
you should
are
click on the article and
ridiculous.
look at them. They're definitely like very Blood Dragon-esque, like the Far Cry 3 DLC where it's like all 80s inspired and just over the top and ridiculous, and I love it. I love when Far Cry is not afraid to get weird. Yeah, it's pretty great. So I'm definitely interested in this, and it seems like it's Blood Dragon, but just more of it because there's 3 different things, and I like that Ubisoft treats Far Cry DLC as just kind of their playground to do whatever weird ideas they have, and I'm into it. And Far Cry 3, just being able to have Far Cry 3 along with that,
that's true,
as a bonus thing is pretty great.
I actually totally forgot that Far Cry 5 wasn't out.
Really?
Yeah. It's like,
It's soon in March.
Yeah.
Are you at all interested in getting it?
I am interested. I don't know. I feel like that's a game that I'll get like pretty far down the line. Yeah. I do like playing those games, but it's not something that I want to get at launch.
Yeah, I'll probably wait too. I'll have too many other things. God of War will be imminent then, and
yeah, very true.
And I'm definitely me and Jeff are day one getting God of War. I don't know if you are, but
I definitely plan on it.
Okay.
420 Blaze.
Yeah, 420 Blaze. I get your Nintendo Labo and God of War. Yeah, but I'll probably play it eventually. Far Cry is just so much like it's just pure fun. Like the story is whatever. It's just like they just focus on
feels
like
so good to play.
You're running through and like animals are attacking you, helicopters crash, and like it's just
death from above.
Yeah, it's like chaos, and I love it. It's so good.
So 80s action movie.
It's great. And taking the outpost is like one of the most fun thing to do.
I'm interested in the new setting, how it's gonna fare, but
I like this different. I like it's
which one of these
I don't think it's going to have necessarily the political commentary that people thought it was going to. I think it's still going to be wacky Far Cry, but
which one of these 3 are you most looking forward to? Lost on Mars, Hours of Darkness, or Dead Living Zombies?
I'm pretty into Mars spiders.
I agree.
I'm pretty down with that.
That looks exciting.
But I don't know. I'm also like the Vietnam War one seems very interesting. I just want to see what they do with that. Like if it just goes full.
It's just the port 80s. Of Black Ops.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just want to see them comment on that. I'm hoping that these are substantial. It's not just like 3 very
like 30 minutes.
Yeah, 3 really small things when they could have done one good one. You know, like I hope it doesn't end up being that way. So it's definitely wait for reviews with that, but.
That's true.
I'm interested in theory, at least. So, yeah.
Because what was the Far Cry 3 one again?
Blood Dragon.
Well, because that one was, like, very long, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, it was pretty meaty, yeah.
We'll see.
It came out afterwards, and it was a standalone. That was a standalone thing. I don't think
you could buy that one, yeah.
Standalone. But,
did Far Cry 4 have the same sort of thing?
It had a Yeti DLC thing.
Yeah, that's right.
But I definitely at least didn't hear people talk
exactly
about it as much.
Same.
I don't think it was quite as big of a deal. Yeah. All right, moving on. Epic Games is shutting down Paragon for the people who care. Allegra Frank, this comes from Allegra Frank from Polygon. Epic Games will shut down Paragon, its multiplayer online battle arena title, on April 26th. The company announced that it will take the game's servers offline at that date, offering an apology to those who expected more from Paragon. And I'm probably just going to skim through Epic's full statement. We truly appreciate everything you've put into Paragon. We receive many passionate ideas on where to take the game. The outpouring of thoughtful suggestions is another testament to this incredible journey. After careful consideration and many difficult internal debates, we feel that there isn't a clear path for us to grow Paragon into a MOBA that retains enough players to be sustainable. We didn't execute well enough to deliver on the promise of Paragon. We have failed you despite the team's incredible hard work, and we're sorry. To make this right, Epic is offering a full refund to every Paragon player for every purchase on any platform. The refund will come directly from Epic rather than from your platform provider. So, in order to receive a refund, PS4 players can go through their Epic accounts, while those on PC without an Epic account have to use a separate link, and you can find it if you look for that. This, I probably wouldn't have been as much of a story just Paragon, because, Paragon never had that much success. There weren't that many people playing it. Still, it's sad for the people who did play it. Two things are crazy to me about this. I mean, one is, it really does seem like, from all accounts, almost one of the biggest reasons this happened is because of Fortnite. Because Epic owns Fortnite as well. And Fortnite is just so much more popular, and it's requiring so many more resources to keep that running that it just didn't make sense to keep Paragon going when not many people were playing it. And I think that kind of speaks to a very unique problem in today's gaming with these type of games. When you buy a game but it's like a service game like this that's lasting, if it stops becoming worth it for the developer to do it, they're gonna get rid of it. And it's not like, back in the day, if you bought a game and then that studio went under, you still had that game to play. It was fine. But if you bought Paragon,
that's what I thought was crazy about this, because at first I read that they were gonna give refunds, and I was like, wow, that seems really gracious of them. And then I was like, well, if the game is literally not going to be able to be played anymore, it's like they have to do that. Like, you paid for something that you can't partake in anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of disagree in a way. What I'm saying about people not being able to play it sucks, but at the same time, I mean, you're paying into it knowing that could happen any day. Like, you even playing Destiny or something, that there's a chance that those servers will go offline one day and you can't play it anymore. And I mean, I don't really completely, I mean, it's nice of them, sure, but I don't think that any developer has a responsibility to, when they close a game, pay you back, especially if you bought it years ago and you've been playing hours and hours and hours and hours of it.
No, that's true.
I mean, it's not like you spent money and got nothing, Maybe if you bought it last month or something, then that sucks.
Was this immediate? Is this immediate?
No, it's happening on April 26th will be the complete cutoff day. But they said that it's going to get, matchmaking and stuff's going to get worse and worse getting towards that, because people are going to be dropping off and everything. But so you have from now until April to to get your refund or continue playing the game and doing all that. It's weird. It's a very unprecedented things who just were offering everyone a refund. I guess Epic is just rolling in money to be able to do that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird because, I mean, they're not going to be able to play it anymore, and they did buy it hoping that they would be able to play it for a long time. Yeah. But they also have been playing, a while.
Yeah, and there's people
is that a full refund worthy? It's weird.
I wouldn't think so. Yeah. I mean, that's what I just think that, or at least I don't think Epic Games has any responsibility to do that. The fact that they're doing that is a very consumer friendly thing.
That's true.
It's very pro consumer. I just don't think that there's any responsibility of them to do it, because you just know.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, even old MMOs have gone offline, but they're not refunding you for the 500 hours you put in there before it went offline, because you still had played it.
But that was it was free to play, right?
No. Well, I think.
Or did you have to buy base game?
I think you had to buy base game. I think it was technically there was lots of betas or whatever that you had to. I think this might have been one of those that technically they never had like an actual release, even though it was
really?
It was playable the whole time. So that's also probably a part.
I guess
of it,
I could understand them refunding stuff that wasn't part of base game.
Yeah,
but refunding for the entire game is pretty nuts for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy, but they also apparently, I've just read people who went for the refund. Apparently they immediately offer you like, hey, would you like to have your refund in Fortnite currency?
That's funny. Yeah.
So they're like, hey, just go play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Just
go do this
nothing
now.
to see here. Just go over here and play Fortnite. I don't know. It's
what else does Epic do?
They made Unreal Engine.
Okay, yeah.
But
I was gonna say I thought they were like Gears of War, but I guess that's just Unreal Engine.
No, I don't think they're.
Or no. Wait, does Gears of War run in Unreal?
I don't know. I'm not sure what
Whatever.
Gears of War runs in. I don't know what else they do. I'm sure there's probably things. It's something that we probably should know, but I'm not sure other than those. And for a long time, everyone just knew them for the engine. But yeah. All right, we have another delay. Yakuza 6.
They do Gears of War.
They did? Oh, okay.
Yeah. An Infinity Blade. Yep.
Interesting. Okay. Yakuza 6 is delayed till April. I'm sorry, Jacob, who listens to this. Yakuza 6, this comes from just the Yakuza's Twitter. Yakuza 6, the Song of Life release, is being moved back a month to April 17th. This was a tough business decision we didn't make lightly, but with bad news, we also have some good. This gives us more time to line things up for launch, and on February 27th, the demo for Yakuza 6 will be available and will allow players to bring their save into the game on release. This will be the first time everyone has a chance to play the game, and we can't wait to hear what you think about it. So, Yakuza pushed back a month, not a big deal, but there's going to be a demo in like a few weeks. So.
Have you ever played Yakuza?
I have not. I have a friend of ours named Jacob who like really likes it, and he's made me feel like I should at some point.
Yeah,
but
I'm definitely intrigued by that demo. I'll give that a shot.
I'll definitely give the demo a shot. It's do you know much about Yakuza?
Not much. I've seen a little bit of gameplay from like Yakuza 0 or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot either. I know that everyone always says it's like Japanese GTA, but then people who actually play the game say that they get mad when people say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it just has a lot of personality and humor. It's just very interesting. Definitely want to play it. All right, Will. It's time for us to crown either PlayStation Plus or Xbox Games with Gold as a winner for February 2018. PlayStation Plus free games for 2018 or for February 2018 for PS4. Will.
It's Knack.
It's Knack. It's Knack, everyone. You have no excuses anymore. You have no
finally be able to play.
No excuses. If Knack is not on all of your PlayStations, then Knack will come to you in your sleep, and it will not be nice. Knack and Rhyme are the two PS4 games. Spelunker HD and Mugen Souls Z?
Dragon Souls Z.
Yep, that one. Those are the two PS3 games. Two PS Vita games are Exile's End and Grand Kingdom. Yeah, and Grand Kingdom's also available on PS4.
Oh.
So, PSVR, so Jeff. Starblood Arena. And yeah, that's all the PlayStation games.
Okay.
Xbox One is Shadow Warrior from February 1st through 28th.
Don't know what that is.
I don't either. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India from February 16th to March 15th. I believe that's the like side scroller Assassin's Creed games they did. Apparently they were not that bad.
That's only one of them though. That's weird that it's not just all three of them.
Did they come in a collective package? I don't know.
I thought they did.
They might have. Yeah, I'm not sure. Xbox 360 has Split/Second from February 1st through 15th, and Crazy Taxi from February 16th through 28th. Will, who is the champion? I mean, is there any question?
For PS4, I think it's clear that Knack and Rhyme are the better ones. But I mean, maybe for the older ones, I don't know. Crazy Taxi, that's a classic, right?
I've never played Crazy Taxi. I just heard people talk about it. I don't know much about Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am like, joke answer, Knack wins all. Like, PlayStation wins just because of Knack. But in reality, I actually am interested in Rhyme. So
Yeah, same.
This get it for free, so I'm definitely interested.
I'm excited to play that.
I would like to play the Assassin's Creed like Chronicle game or whatever. But
I heard they're not great though. So
yeah, I've heard like mixed things, but I say PlayStation wins because of Rhyme and also because of
yes, of
our
course.
Lord and Savior.
Have you? I'm actually kind of surprised that it took this long to get Knack.
Yeah,
Like for such a mediocre received game, like
I mean they really just thought that it would just keep selling, right?
Yeah.
You know, people just they probably had so many people buying it as a joke or something that they like. I mean, Knack 1 actually sold a lot because it was a launch game. It wasn't because it was a good game.
I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten like Killzone Shadowfall as well. It's a launch game.
Maybe soon. Maybe we're getting around to that.
One
Or
day.
something finally. I don't know. And you put Second Son.
Yeah,
I mean, that's probably too good of a game to get put on there, but
that's true.
Yeah.
Although, what it was, Metal Gear Solid 5 was on there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So it's and I mean that is crazy to me that was put on.
That's
there,
a pretty huge game. Yeah,
yeah, it is. So now it's on my PlayStation.
definitely the biggest, right? Definitely the
It's
biggest.
the biggest I can think.
Wait, was Infamous Second Son not free?
It might have been at some point.
I definitely had it, but maybe I bought it.
It probably was. It probably was. I'm probably just.
I think it was.
No.
So
All right, so time for the main topic. Will,
Okay.
I think we're going to go with the one that you wanted to go with.
good.
So, Will, what is our main topic this week?
Our topic is sort of about remakes and remasters. Basically, with Shadow of the Colossus coming in a few days,
Yes,
February 6th, I think.
that sounds right.
Something like that.
So it's probably Tuesday. I guess.
And it's being super well received, obviously.
Yeah,
Like 90 on Metacritic or something stupid. So, do you think more older games should be remastered or remade rather, and should they be played in that form, or do you think they should stay in the past and be played in their original form?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a very complicated thing, and it's kind of case by case. In the grand scheme of things, the thought of lots of remakes and stuff is kind of a sad one in the fact that it's like, you know, you always want to say like these resources could be put to new games
Right.
and like new experiences like that. But at the same time, I mean, obviously from a business standpoint, they're never going to end because people buy them and people are going to, you know, people know these other games. But it's just in the case of like if they should or not, I kind of, for cases like Shadow of the Colossus, I kind of say yes, they should be made because take Shadow of the Colossus for its time and like what it's doing, like story wise, subtly, and just art and everything and the atmosphere of it. It's really, really like, you know, it was really well received and it was kind of groundbreaking for the way that a lot of like games went. It was like one of the first that I can remember like video games as art games that was like a real discussion of like this is like legitimate like that. But and it still is all of those things, but it was a game made in like 2005 or something like that. If you go back from 2018 and play that game, the controls are just terrible from our modern standards.
I've heard, yeah.
And it's like, it's so frustrating to like control it and to operate and do all these other things. The camera is terrible and everything. But in 2005, it wasn't. So it's hard to really experience that game from a 2018 lens the way that it's intended to be experienced. Sure. So I do kind of think that remaking it like this, but keeping the core of the game, but making it more playable in 2018 is a positive thing.
I agree. Yeah. So say in 10 years, you get a new console. Do you think it would be a good idea, or do you think they should make a Last of Us remake?
I mean, like, maybe it's just because in the grand scheme of things, we're not that far away from it, but it feels like that's a game that wouldn't need it because it seems like, oh, The Last of Us controls great. I don't know, you know, what would be the problem, but maybe in 10 years they look back and they're like, eesh, this is terrible. Yeah. Like, you know, so who knows? Like maybe by then it would be, but
by your standards, it's definitely more about the gameplay and how it feels than how it looks.
I think it's more just whatever it would take for like if you can't experience the game, you know, if it would enhance like it's still the same game, but you get to it. New people get to experience it, and it makes sense to them. Kind of the same way they're doing the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm kind of excited about that because there's lots of people that, Final Fantasy VII is like my favorite game of all time, but
never played it.
I mean, a lot of, I completely get that if you're into like JRPGs and stuff, but it's hard for me to say, go play it. And now, when this is a game that came out in 1995,
it just looks awful.
Everyone, no one has mouths. They have horse hoof hands and weird polygon.
No voice actors.
Yeah, no voice actors. Everything's just triangles, and it looks like it's just pre-rendered backgrounds. Yeah, from a 2018 perspective, it looks very primitive and bad.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of happy that a remake coming out will get people can experience that story and experience some of the things that Final Fantasy VII did, but actually come away with appreciation for it because they're not laughing at the things.
Right.
And so basically, I guess remakes for me are most important for preservation, video game preservation, if that makes any sense.
So that new generations can experience it, you mean?
Yeah, basically. Okay. So that these games don't just fade away and die. I mean, I guess it's the same thing kind of happens in film, I guess, with some remakes of things. But then I feel a lot of times we still go back to a lot of times we still kind of whatever about the new ones and go back to the old ones. I don't know.
Yeah, and with film, it can be different too because they're generally not shot for shot remakes. It's narrative maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think my idea of remakes is hold on. There we go.
Most transforming.
Oh, that was bad. The flu was coming back. Anyway,
I'll just stay over here.
No, I think my idea is 8-bit and 16-bit games look great, right?
Yeah.
They don't really need to be remade, I don't think.
I agree.
And then current games are in the HD era, 360 and on. They also look totally fine for where we're at now. Maybe, I don't know, in 10 years that could be different. Yeah, but I think anything between that, the 3D era that wasn't HD, PS1 and PS2, I think those are prime things to be remade and remastered into something that plays better and looks a lot better than they do now.
I agree. We have a discussion a lot of times about how stylistic games look good forever.
Yeah.
There's, at least the original Zelda and Mario and those games are never going to look bad because they're it's an art style.
Yeah,
it's
what would you even remaster?
you wouldn't. It would be a different game. Or just there's so many examples. Journey's never going to look bad because of just the style of it and just so many cel-shaded stuff's cel-shaded anything's never going to...
Even the Telltale games might play bad, but they're not going to look bad.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Some of them.
Well, okay. Yeah, they look fine. Play, and I guess you're right. You're
pretty
right.
janky.
So I guess that is the sweet spot right there. They brought even something like Crash. It was that PS1 very blocky and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe at the time they thought that looked fine too. And so maybe this is again us just looking back. But that you bring back Crash last year and it looks sharp and nice and everything, but it's still the same gameplay. Good remake, in my opinion. I do think, I guess, I don't know if part of your worry or part of, anyone's worry about this is, if we just get too much. We just get to the fact where we're why are we remaking this game? Because we could definitely get to that point if we haven't already with certain things.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always the worry that more resources than you really need to are being put into remakes and not new experiences.
Yeah. But at the same time, when people make new experiences, a lot of times they don't sell well because people don't know them. We kind of buy the things we always... I always want new experiences like that as opposed to older ones, but then it's hard to practice what you preach sometimes.
And even though they're technically older experiences, a lot of the times we haven't played them. If they made an Ocarina of Time remake, I'd be down. I haven't played that game.
I played Ocarina of Time, but there are lots of games like that.
Yeah. And especially as we get older, into the newer generations, not many people are going to be playing old Mario 64 games or whatever.
Yes, but kids today, what relevance, what are they going to know about Mario 64? Especially if you go Mario 64 was beautifully made. It's like a beautifully made game. But I mean, if you're a kid today and you look back at that, you're not gonna
want to play that.
Yeah, it's not gonna work out. So
or the original Metal Gear, or not Metal Gear, Metal Gear Solid, games like that.
A lot of those other ones where it's like there's objectively amazing game design with a lot of those games, but because of advances in technology and just visuals mostly, and some like gameplay thing, it's hard to really experience those the way that maybe people did back in before.
Agreed.
So I mean, I think they have a place. I think remakes definitely have a place, but I do think there's a line where it just gets too much.
Which is probably why it's cool that like Blue Point literally just specializes in remakes and remasters. And
they're great at it.
Yeah, and maybe there should just be more developers that just specialize in that, so that resources aren't being taken away from other developers.
That would be doing other things, and they're like taking time to stop and do those. Yeah, and
that would be cool.
And it's kind of a market that they cornered. I mean, like it's not like they're the only ones, but they're the only. I mean, do you know any other developer by name that does that? I mean, yes, there are other developers, but we all know Blue Point, so that makes sense there. I don't know, and there's also. I mean, I think remakes so far, like I haven't seen too many remakes that I think like that shouldn't exist. There are definitely remasters where I'm like, that game came out 3 years ago.
Sleeping Dogs remastered. Give me a break.
Well, even freaking like The Last of Us, they like called that a remaster. I'm like, no, you just
was just to play it on.
It's like
PS4,
I say you just want on PS4, which is fine. I mean, that's fine. And they did like, I mean, it was HD or whatever. I mean, like it did things, but like definitely not all of those are equal.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, especially in this HD era, like, there's not a whole lot of change.
No. I mean, there are, even, like, I played Final Fantasy 12. I got the Final Fantasy 12 remaster last year, and, I mean, that was a PS2 game, and it looks a lot better in the remaster. So, I mean, like, when you go back, you can make the games look a lot better, and it is an excuse to play these older games and play it on your modern console, because I don't want to lug out my PS...
Nope.
Like, if I had to lug out my PS2 to play Final Fantasy 12, I would never play it again. But if I have it on my PlayStation 4, I played it for like 20 hours this year, or last year.
And there's also the idea that a lot of digital stores aren't offering those old games to buy. So
I've heard people talk about it, and I think it's a very fascinating discussion that when you think about books, like old books, unless they're like ancient books or whatever, like you can find any of them, even books written in like Depression era or whatever, you can go back and find those or whatever. Films, you can go back and watch Citizen Kane, all these, like you can watch like old foundational game movies or whatever. Games, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Even something from PlayStation 1, you have to find the PlayStation 1. A movie, you don't have to go back and find something to watch this older movie.
Yeah.
You can usually, for the most part, just find that older movie. Like, preservation of the mediums, I feel like, is a lot better in other industries than it is in games.
Well, yeah, I guess film is interesting because there are different, I don't know, not mediums, like VCR and DVDs and stuff like that as well. But they are preserved better, that's for sure. Yeah,
I at least feel like, there's more often, like... It's less often that you're going to find something that's stranded on, that wasn't brought over into the modern digital era.
Or at least, at least something that was, like, acclaimed.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of acclaimed software that is definitely stranded in games.
Yeah, so. And it's, unless someone does a remake or a remaster or something that you have to buy again there or whatever, which takes resources that people aren't doing, it's hard to find those, because you have to have the software to do that.
Right.
And it is like, I mean, our industry's, video games is still very young in comparison to everything else. And that's something that maybe like 40 years from now, are people even going to be able to play some of these older games? It's difficult.
Need to convert everything to digital.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
They have the ability to do it. Like, I remember Xbox and PlayStation both were like, "Oh no, we can't do backwards compatibility. It doesn't work on our things." And then a few months later, Xbox was like, "Hey, we have backwards compatibility."
And then that game was
really,
like,
guys?
"Oh no, we accidentally flipped the switch to let y'all play together."
Yeah,
have to
all
turn
these
it off
things,
now.
like, it could all work. It could all work. They just don't do it. It's annoying. Yeah.
Man.
Well, Will, do you have anything else?
I don't think... Was there a game?
I forgot about the game. Game time.
Yay!
I completely forgot about the game. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you reminded me.
No, it's fine.
I was looking.
I was thinking about it.
I was looking. I'm like, oh, dang, we ended very early. No, I have to fully emulate Jeff, and I created a game for Mr. William Outlaw.
I'm pumped. I can't lose this time.
I'm pretty sure Jeff's probably better at making these games than me, and I threw it together pretty fast. So it's probably not going to be as good as Jeff's games.
That's all right.
We'll see. The game is who has more Twitter followers.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, we'll see. I took a lot of different like video game related things. I kind of like mixed the streams between like games and studios and different things. You'll see, and hopefully it's interesting. Round 1.
Okay.
All right. A. Naughty Dog. B. Hideo Kojima. Or C. E3. The E3 Twitter account. These are the 3 Twitter accounts. Which one has more Twitter followers?
I don't see a publisher having that many in comparison to an individual that is that important and an event that's that important. I'm going to say Kojima has the most.
You are correct.
All right.
And all these are decently close. Kojima had 2.37 million. Naughty Dog had 2... Wait a minute. You're wrong. I'm so sorry. I had that wrong. Oh, you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's Naughty Dog.
Really?
Yeah, Naughty Dog is 2.47 million, and Hideo Kojima has 2.37 million.
And what is E3?
And E3 only has 2.01 million.
Wow, that's really surprising to me.
Yeah,
I don't see Naughty Dog having that much.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about that too. That's what I just assumed that I thought it was Kojima, but I didn't look hard enough there. All right, round 2.
Toying with me.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that one. Round 2. A. Sledgehammer Games. B. Treyarch Studios. Or C. Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward?
This one actually had a theme.
Yeah. Wait, it was Treyarch, Infinity Ward. What was A?
Sledgehammer Games.
Oh, Sledgehammer.
So these are the 3 Call of Duty studios.
Sledgehammer is not well known enough, I don't think, in comparison. I'm gonna say Treyarch. They've been around.
You're actually correct this time.
Good.
And they're ahead by a good bit. Yeah. Treyarch has 3.61 million, and Infinity Ward has 2.2 million, and Sledgehammer has 1.27 million.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, Treyarch.
Maybe at one point Infinity Ward would have had more, but
yeah, back in the day, but ever since Black Ops.
Yeah.
It's okay, round 3.
How many rounds are there?
7.
Okay.
A. Call of Duty. B. Assassin's Creed.
Oof.
Or C. Destiny.
Destiny has probably a small but dedicated following, so I don't think they're going to be up there. They're dedicated but smaller. It's got to be Call of Duty.
Assassin's Creed.
Really?
Assassin's Creed has 4.22 million.
How strange.
Call of Duty has 3.49 million. So they have a good bit more, actually. I would have predicted Call of Duty.
That's
too.
so
And
weird.
Destiny has 2.31 million.
What the heck? I don't see Assassin's Creed people following them that much.
Maybe it's just, I don't know. They have more. I don't know. I really don't know what it is.
I'm dumbfounded by that.
Some of it, it's like, that's why I'm hoping this game's good, because some of it kind of also just depends on like how active they are in social media. There's like, when I was looking up things, I was like, this is definitely bigger than this, but they never post, and this one does, and it's like, yeah.
Huh. All right.
Like, it's not on here, so I'll say, like, one of the ones when I was looking at just all the different type of things, like, the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account has, like, 6 million followers because they, like, post constantly and they, like, make fun of people and, like, do all these, like, funny things. Okay, round 4.
1 for 2. Ugh.
Round 4.
Or 1 for 3, rather.
Yeah. Wait, I accidentally marked you right on that one. When you were in fact wrong, so I'm sorry, I'll correct that. Okay. Round 4. A. Bethesda. B. Bungie. C. BioWare.
It's not BioWare. Can't be.
This one's pretty close, I will say.
Really? Bethesda has a ton of people that love them. But Bungie, was built on the back of social media, I feel like. Man. I'm going to say Bethesda.
It's BioWare.
Really?
It's BioWare.
How?
BioWare has 2.6 million, Bungie has 2.52 million, and Bethesda only has 1.54 million.
Dang.
Yeah. that surprises me too.
Why are that many people following BioWare?
I mean, Mass Effect was pretty dang huge, but then again, it also seems like that was before Twitter. Let's see about this.
That was...
The Waterman's here. You have to
The Waterman. Oh. Let me just spout off some knowledge as Darby checks on the door. See, it can't be Jeff. Jeff's dead. You heard me. Oh, that was interesting. Darby's standing at the door. There's someone there. I don't know exactly what's going on. I think he's offering to buy something. This is very nice. He's shaking his hand and everything. I think he's uncomfortable though. Alright, he's leaving. He's back. This is good. That was just like the Waterman.
Just like the Waterman.
Except the Waterman was 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I ended it a little faster.
That was very good.
Thank you.
Alright,
where are we at? Okay.
Yeah.
I would have I guess just... I probably would have guessed... I don't know. I would have been between Bungie and BioWare, but I'm not sure.
I just imagine so many people love Elder Scrolls.
But then, and ever since,
Fallout.
especially ever since they've been at E3, all these had their own E3 things. I could have seen that. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised they're that far down.
Wow, what the heck?
All right, ready? Round 5.
Okay.
A. Final Fantasy. B. NetherRealm Studios. Or C. Insomniac Games.
Insomniac. What did they make again?
Ratchet and Clank. They're making Spider-Man. Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank.
They made a bunch of other things, but those are the ones that I know.
NetherRealm is Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
And what was they again?
Final Fantasy.
I feel like
tried to go around to different things to make it all compare.
If I remember correctly, NetherRealm is pretty active, or at least Ed Boon is. Final Fantasy's been around forever. I don't know. Let's do Insomniac.
Yes. This is not what I expect you to get.
I pulled that out of my butt.
I did not expect you to get it because I would not have guessed Insomniac. Insomniac has 503,000. NetherRealm has 300,000. Final Fantasy only has 220,000.
That is surprising.
Yeah,
I thought all those numbers would be up.
Yeah, they're all that's those are all a lot less than the other ones. I was really surprised that Insomniac was more than both of those other ones.
I was just thinking about
maybe Spider-Man is
yeah. I was thinking about what people would be following for, and not many people would be following for Final Fantasy updates. I don't think. And then there's NetherRealm is just a fighting game. I don't think there are that many people interested. So.
Yeah,
I just kind of fell to Insomniac.
And there also might be a Mortal Kombat Twitter account. I'm not sure.
Very sure.
That they're actually going towards. I'm really not sure.
That was a weird one, though.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that one, though. I didn't expect you to. Round 6. A. Rockstar. B. Nintendo of America. Or C. EA.
That's a rough one. Yeah. I followed Rockstar at one point.
Tried to make these hard.
No, I can't remember. I'm gonna say Rockstar.
You are correct. Rockstar has 9.14 million. Nintendo of America has 8.93 million. And EA is all the way down at 5.19 million.
That makes sense.
Yep. So Rockstar and Nintendo are pretty close. But
Yeah.
Rockstar has more followers than an entire
That's what I was gonna say.
console like arm or whatever. All right, last round, and this is the weirdest one.
This is gonna be I'm 3 for 6, so I'm either gonna win or lose by this.
Really? One. And this is the one that I just went really weird. So that seems fitting.
Great.
A. Greg Miller from
Yeah.
Kind of Funny. B. Doritos, as in the chips.
I hate you so much.
Or C. The Cleveland Browns,
Ugh.
as in the NFL team. And this is for his win.
Cleveland Browns. Who likes them? Can't be. Doritos.
I just had to have one where I just went completely off the rails. I had to. See, Jeff's not doing this anymore. He's not here to rein it
no
in
rules.
anymore. Yeah, there's no rules.
Doritos has had some pretty solid Super Bowl commercials that might have gained some traffic for their Twitter. Greg Miller. It's Greg Miller.
You're correct.
Oh.
Greg Miller has 1.29 million. Doritos only has 625,000. And the Cleveland Browns have 1.01 million.
You say that Doritos only has 600,000 or whatever, but what 600,000 people are following a food
I don't
Twitter?
know. I mean, freaking Wendy's has like
That's
5
Wendy's
million
is funny.
because Wendy's has the best Twitter account
That's true.
of like anyone. Yeah.
All right, I did it.
But Greg has like 20,000 more followers or something than a professional football team, which is kind of funny to me. But it is the Browns.
It is the Browns.
I wanted to do something like the Packers, but the Packers had like 4 million followers, so it's like it's a little
I wonder if the Browns have the lowest.
I don't know.
I would imagine.
I only looked at a few. They have more than the Buffalo Bills. That's one of the other ones I looked at. But, so you went 500, right? Or no, that was 7. So
Yeah.
you won.
I won. I didn't
You
lose.
won 4 and lost 3. So
Man,
congratulations.
that was rough though. There was a few that I was surprised by.
Yeah, that went a little better than I thought. I was worried that.
That was a good game.
I was worried you were gonna make less of them just because of how like weird this is. Like I wouldn't have Assassin's Creed. And
That was very strange.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. Sans Jeff.
Get out of here, Jeff.
Don't worry, Jeff should be back next week, please, because he's a lot better at reading the news stories than I am. So please come back, Jeff, please.
I can't wait for you to edit the Waterman.
Oh yeah. I'll just leave it all in there.
Good.
I don't even know what you said, really. So
Raise the volume some. I was whispering so he wouldn't hear me.
Did you say anything interesting?
I tried to.
Okay. All right. Well.
I was just describing your actions.
So it was the water, man. Yeah. I'll have to
very
listen
much
back
so.
and see. All right. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
See ya.